Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel of Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. Right, I hope you're doing well. I really do hope that. Lots to get into in today's Chelsea news video. Popping off a treble, a hat-trick of here we goes from Fabrizio Romano regarding Chelsea's outgoings, which were a priority. That's right, money made for Hakim Ziyech, Koulibaly, Edouard Mendy as well, and of course the announcement of N'Golo Kante, who will be leaving on a free transfer, but all freeing up massive first team spaces in the squad. We will talk about all of that. Saudi aren't done yet. They still of course have made inquiries for other players like Lukaku, Aubameyang, and now Hudson-Odoi, and we've got some other transfer news as well as a Matt Law article and a bit more insight on Christopher Nkunku, the new Chelsea striker. So much to get into. I thank you very much for joining me. I do thank you for your continued support on the channel. It means a lot. I do see it and I'm thankful, so consider liking and subscribing, and should you choose to subscribe to this channel, thank you, and I recommend you hit the sweet bell, baby. Okay, where to start? Well, surely we have to start by saluting an absolutely incredible, unique, magnifique joueur de la foot, N'Golo Kante, of course. Al Ittihad, he has moved to. It has been confirmed by both clubs respectively. Some peculiar announcement video where he's failed his medical, and then he was like, "Did you really believe that?" And it was peculiar, considering he's getting paid £100 million per season salary. You thought they'd do a better announcement video than that, but God bless him. What a man. What a unique player, a profoundly unique, incredible footballer and personality. Humble, sweet, built of granite, and just incredible. Maybe not as good as he used to be. He will turn, well, he's 32 now. He probably still did have something to offer, and many a Chelsea fan probably would have absolutely endorsed the signing or the extension of him for maybe 1 or 2 seasons. But at the same time, we're trying to rebuild our midfield. I personally have compared him to like a more sort of defensive Eden Hazard, and what I mean by that, I mean by unique superchargers, catalysts. Like, you don't necessarily need a system for them to work. You drop Hazard in, you're just better going forwards. You drop Kante in, you're just better in transitions and ultimately defending. Incredible. But we want to move beyond. Look, I would, if you said to me, Jan, you can have prime Hazard and Kante in your team now, of course, I'm absolutely doing it. But generally as a club, in terms of philosophy and, you know, culture and stuff, we want to build tactics and a systemic approach to playing football. No longer do we lean on and rely on these plug-and-play footballers for success. But my word, what an incredible player. Not just for, I mean, mainly for Chelsea, you know, Premier League. I think did he win everything? I don't think he won the League Cup, but he won the FA Cup, Premier League, Europa League, Champions League, Super Cup, Club World Cup, Ruddy Horror. What a load of super trophies. Just incredible. And of course, he was part of the fairy tale, probably the catalyst for the fairy tale that was Leicester's Premier League win. So, absolutely incredible. Deserves to be at the top of the video and deserves to be talked about. Thank you, N'Golo Kante. We all collectively salute you. Okay, so we did get the triple. Here we go. Ziyech, Koulibaly, and Mendy. Why do I find it so difficult to remember those three? As things stand, none of those guys are starting. We've spoken a little bit, and we probably will speak a bit more about Kepa likely to be the #1 choice going forwards under Pochettino, and Pochettino likes Kepa and wants to coach Kepa. That doesn't mean we won't sign a goalkeeper, by the way, especially now Mendy's gone. I don't necessarily think Gaga Slanina is going to go to the #2. He may well do, and many of us will like that, but at the same time, many of us will realise how he's an incredible talent that probably needs to go and be a first-team goalkeeper somewhere, and then maybe come in and succeed Kepa as a #1. Do a Thibaut Courtois, go on loan for a couple of seasons, come back, be the #1. He's that good, he could be. And of course, Marcus Bettinelli will remain the #3. So, Edouard Mendy's gone. We will get a transfer fee for him. Koulibaly, I think we're getting £20 million for, which doesn't sound like a lot, but considering, it's 10 million less, but considering he's in his 30s, he's not played well, we clearly don't want him. We want to get rid of his wages. We want to utilise players like Levi Colwill, who will be on much less wages, and Badiashile, more structured long-term wages, younger players on long-term contracts. And let's be real, no disrespect to Kalidou Koulibaly, who's been one of the best defenders in Europe in the last sort of 5, 6, 7 years. But, on that left-hand side, Colwill and Badiashile. On that right-hand side, Chalobah and Fofana. And then, of course, you've got Thiago Silva being the senior player between sort of coming in and out and leading by example in this transitional period. Incredible. Centre-backs, sorted. Got them off the books. Edouard Mendy, thank you so much for your service. You talk about saluting players. He absolutely deserves that as well in terms of the Champions League run, winning. He at a period of time, probably only for a matter of months, he was pushing for the form goalkeeper in the world. He won FIFA best goalkeeper. He was good. He was good. Especially he came in when Kepa was flapping and couldn't claim a cross. Mendy came in, he's tall, he's got big old wingspan, and he was claiming crosses and corners. And we were like, he's amazing. But perhaps, truthfully, he was just doing basics pretty well. He's a good goalkeeper, but he's probably not what we want in terms of footballing goalkeeper. So he deserves great respect for his service with Chelsea. I think he was really, really integral to that Champions League win as well. Doubling our numbers for European Cups. That is significant. So he deserves a great deal of respect, Edouard Mendy. And Hakim Ziyech, the one that sort of perhaps could have been, I was so excited for his signing. He remains a unique profile in our squad. Of course, our only right winger now is Noni Madueke, so I do wonder what's going to happen there. Maybe we move on occasion Raheem Sterling over to the right, which he's played before, so we allow, Misha Mudryk to play on the left. I still have a feeling Pulisic's going to go. And by the way, should Pulisic go, both the number 7 shirt and the number 10 shirt will be vacated because of the exits from N'Golo Kante and Christian Pulisic, which means Christopher Nkunku, don't claw it, which means Christopher Nkunku could have his pick. And he'll probably take the number 10, I imagine, because he'll be playing in the number 10. But he'll also be playing off the left sometime. And the number 7 is an iconic shirt, lest we forget. Wouldn't it be nice if, I suppose, Mudryk could get the number 7, Madueke, although it's generally a left winger that gets the number 7. I think history dictates. Oiler, I really don't like you doing this, Mia, because you might stop my recording, and I'm 8 minutes in, and I'll cry. So I just wanted to talk about those. We're going to talk about Nkunku in a little bit more detail in the moment. But yeah, Ziyech for me is a frustrating one because he had he was kind of like a hybrid between, and I don't mean he was as good as both. He had qualities of both, like Iron Robin and Cesc Fabregas. Do you know what I mean? Put together, because he would come inside and do those really audacious Fabregas-esque passes. I'm not going to do spend too much time on what could have been, but he was and I loved his audacity, his arrogance. I was like, yes, Chelsea, we need a bit of that. You can't escape that he has the body of a 14-year-old girl. Nothing he can do about that as well. He's slender. Why should he have to put on bulk? He spoke about footballs, about creating spaces. He did work hard, but I think ultimately the Prem's a very physical game, and it didn't serve him that well. But all three, Koulibaly, thanks for the goal against Tottenham. I thought we, upgraded on Koulibaly. I had buzzing, and look, Koulibaly played okay at times, especially when Silva was out of the team. But holistically, the context of our defence, our squad, our wage structure, it makes total sense, especially recouping some value. So very, very good there. Triple, here we go. Right. Saudi aren't done there. They've made inquiries for Callum Hudson-Odoi, says Fabrizio Romano. 2 Saudi pro clubs have made inquiries for the young player. Now, this doesn't mean he'll go. Of course, the youngest high-profile player, yet to go is Ruben Neves. He's 25 years old of Wolves. I know it's a Wolves player, but he's high profile, starts for Portugal, and was linked to Manchester United, among other clubs. So young players are chasing the bag as well. And maybe Callum Hudson-Odoi's stock's low. He recognises that even though he's, 22 or something, he might just think, you know what, chase the bag. Maybe I can come back to Europe, but I have a feeling that once you go over there, dude, unless you've already built your career and you're going over there for a couple of years break, like people did with China, like the Belgian players like Carrasco did with China and Witsel did with China, he's not in a position to do that. Callum Hudson-Odoi goes to Saudi Arabia. His profile is gone. He's done. No one's going to give a rat's behind if he scores a few goals in the Saudi Pro League. No disrespect to that league. And it's not me even dissecting the league's quality. It's just out of sight of their mind. Despite them signing loads of Galacticos, no one's going to watch the Pro League unless you want to watch Ronaldo play and you're a Ronaldo superfan, of which I am not. So, it's interesting. It'll be an opportunity for Chelsea to make more money. Of course, Hudson-Odoi is on significant money as well. I know he's not on 300k a week like some of the players we're trying to flog, but he's on 120k a week. And I hate reminding people, his whole successful tenure at Chelsea, Mason Mount's been on 70 or 75. So it's significantly more than Mount. And if Chelsea can, I think he's only got 1 or 2 years left on his deal. If Chelsea can wipe that off the books, make a bit of peace for him, they won't care where he goes at this point. It could be Saudi Arabia as well. So that's the Saudi news wrapped up. It feels good to get the Deadwood gone. Another person that, much like N'Golo Kante, deserves much respect and thanks is, of course, Cesar Azpilicueta. Had been heavily linked to Barcelona, looked like he was going to go to Barcelona before we sort of forced him to sign a 2-year deal, which in the end was pointless. I get it, it was more the leadership and helping transition, kind of like what we want with Thiago Silva with this presumably final season, should he stay, which he's contracted to. It was an absolute disaster this season. Cesar Azpilicueta looks like he's fallen off a cliff. It's not his fault. It's just where he is in his career. He's played everywhere. He's always given 100%. He's burnt out. We should have let him go. And so we better sign a new deal. But Bayern Munich are apparently interested in him. So one would imagine La Liga clubs are still interested in Cesar Azpilicueta. But you'd have to say Bayern Munich are interested in him because of Thomas Tuchel. You'd have to assume that. Thomas Tuchel did turn to Azpilicueta every now and again. He knows he started him in a back three often, and maybe he wants to do that in Bayern Munich. Maybe he wants his leadership. He's got 2 years left on his deal. Chelsea and Tuchel have got a weird relationship now, but you'd have to think we'd get a few million for him, even if it's just 4 million, 3 million, or if he puts in a transfer request, you say, absolutely, captain, you can go for free. But should he not do that, Chelsea would make a few quid for him, which is another thing. Great. Look, man, we're not happy with the ownership collectively as things stand, despite me being really impressed with their ambition and implementation of certain aspects in the club of structure, infrastructure, scouting, recruitment, footballing directors, a general collective ethos of squad building, age profile, wage, equality. I'm down with all that, but there's rightly been a lot of criticism for a lot of the stuff they're doing in terms of teething issues or learning on the job or just poor decisions. This is good work that clearly they've been flat out doing. Of course, Bodie was pictured in Saudi just a few weeks ago or whatever, and this is what's followed. There will be some more difficult transfers to understand and get down with. Of course, this will be like Kai Havertz. Literally, just as I am speaking to you, Mateo Kovacic, Manchester City, here we go. £30 million for... This is pretty good, to be honest. £30 million for Mateo Kovacic. That is impressive. Considering we bought him for £34 million, he's got 1 year left in his deal. He's 29, going on 30. Granted, he's a high-profile player, but wow, that's just blowing my mind. More and more and more players are going, and the squad, places are freeing up. The wages are freeing up. We're generating a lot of revenue here, and this is pretty incredible. That is literally in the last 60 seconds. Wow, wow, wow. All right, we keep moving, I guess. Also, despite all those players going, wages off the books, generating revenue, and creating squad space, I just want to do a little bit of reading on Christopher Nkunku. Of course, we spoke and reacted about him yesterday in yesterday's video. If you're yet to watch that, go watch it. We look at his stats. But I just wanted to read a little bit on what Matt Law said on his article on Christopher Nkunku. So Boehly and Koulibaly may not have appeared on the Chelsea statement confirming the signing of Nkunku, but the feeling inside Stamford Bridge is that were it not for the early move of the co-controlling owners, the attacker could have ended up somewhere else. So thank the stars, we moved quickly and got the agreement signed. United, Arsenal, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich are all looking to add forwards to the attack. And given the 12th place Premier League finish and failure to qualify for Europe, Chelsea would have found it tough to compete for a player like that right now. With Tottenham and Napoli demanding 100 million plus for Harry Kane and Victor Osimhen respectively, Chelsea themselves valuing Kai Havertz at £70 million, and Atalanta talking of Rasmus Højlund to be worth £86 million. Of course, briefly linked to Chelsea, heavily linked to Manchester United. £86 million for a young striker who hasn't really scored much. A little over £52 million for Nkunku looks like a potential snip. And look, it's true. I recommend you go read this. He sort of dissects the move. It's essentially praising Koulibaly and Boehly, which of course Matt Law has done previously. Whatever. What is objective here is this is incredibly good work. Securing Christopher Nkunku down for such a small fee when comparatively, similar players that are in form and not as good as Nkunku, like their Rasmus guy, he doesn't score that many goals, and they're saying they want 34 million more than Nkunku for this player. Look, man, I think this is incredible business. It's so exciting. Whether he'll play as an out-and-out 9, I'm not so sure. We'll have to see. But look, I'm feeling good. Deadwood out, money made, squad freeing up, alleviation of pain. Of course, we had the deadline of sometime soon to sell for the financial fair play. Seemingly, we're doing it, mate, and I feel pretty darn good about that. I'm very interested to learning your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on all the stuff I've spoken about, so please do comment down below. Like and subscribe. See you on the next one. Take care. One love.